You don't need to be a monster of a man to compete in the professional world.
Oh my God! What up, man?
How you doing, man?
God, Mook, you ain't that big, man.
Man, I'm bigger than you.
For this list, there isn't a specific height or weight cutoff for the players that we're featuring. We're simply looking at athletes who are shorter and lighter in weight compared to the average players in their respective sports. So with that, let's dive into 12-star athletes who show that big things come in small packages. Lionel Messi. The greatest soccer player of all time is listed at 5'7" in height, so he may be smaller than most of his opponents, but Messi's dazzling speed, footwork, and soccer IQ has made him far and away the biggest deal in soccer over the last decade plus. There's just no easy way of specifying how much this man has single-handedly grown and changed the game. Only Cristiano Ronaldo has more career goals as a pro than Messi, who has a record 7 Ballon d'Or awards. Messi finally achieved the perfect career resume when he led Argentina to championship gold at the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Game, set, and match. The last decade has been Messi's world of soccer, and we're all just living in it. Tyreek Hill. According to a recent study from the University of Idaho, the average NFL player is just under 6'2" in height and 245.86 pounds. That study showed that the average wide receiver is roughly 6 feet in height and 200 pounds. Well, Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill is 5'10" and about 190. So, yeah, that's considerably smaller than the average wideout, and greatly undersized compared to the average NFLer. But, oh yeah, Hill's only been a top 5 receiver in the game since 2018, his first year with Patrick Mahomes. Cheetah just runs right through defenses with his unmatched speed and athleticism. Mookie Betts. Almost every all-star level pitcher in baseball these days is over 6'3" in height. Aaron Judge is 6'7", Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, Bryce Harper, Juan Soto, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Manny Machado, and Julio Rodriguez. All of them are 6'2" or taller. And then there's Mookie Betts. By far the best all-around player in baseball, not named Trout or Ohtani. 5'9" and 180 pounds. 2018 AL MVP and a World Series champion with 2 marquee franchises in the Boston Red Sox and Los Angeles Dodgers. Betts never gets the national attention or exposure that guys like Ohtani, Trout, Judge, or Harper endure. But given his superior durability than Trout's and Ohtani's, you can argue that Betts has been the most valuable all-around baseball player since his first elite season back in 2016. He has 30 home run power, hits well for average, rarely strikes out, and draws a ton of walks. Plus, he's in a class of his own when it comes to the defense and right field, constantly ranking near the very top in every meaningful defensive metric. And to think, the deep-pocketed Red Sox owners didn't want to pay this guy. But the Dodgers and 14 other teams in the American League sure ain't complaining. Chris Paul. Multiple studies state that the average NBA player is 6'6" in height, but even a player who stands at or around that height isn't really that big on the court. Consider all the star players that are 6'8" or even taller. At just 6 feet in height, Chris Paul is tallish for your average human standards, but as an NBA player, man, he is tiny. And yet, few guards of the 21st century have been as explosive, dynamic, and consistent as CP3. The 6-foot-tall, 175-pound Paul is a surefire Hall of Famer with 12 All-Star appearances and 4 All-NBA first-team selections, and 7 All-Defensive first-team nods on his resume. Paul has also led the NBA in assists 5 times, and he led the league in steals 6 times between 2008 and 2014. Paul isn't a superstar-level player anymore, but he remains an effective passer and depth scorer. He's come awfully close to winning a championship, which, hey, is the last thing missing on this little guy's otherwise near-perfect resume. Brad Marchand. This Boston Bruins pest has proudly earned the nickname the Little Ball of Hate. He used to be just your average hockey pest, but then Marchand began taking his game to an all-star point-per-game level in the 2016/2017 season. Marchand has become a pivotal part of the Bruins' excellent run over the past decade and a half. A 2011 Stanley Cup championship, 2 more final appearances in 2013 and 2019, and a trio of President's Trophies in 2014, 2020, and 2023. The latter, of course, was a historic season in which the Bees set the record for most points and wins by a team in one season. The 4-time All-Star is only 5'9" and 175 pounds, but you wouldn't know it if you saw his style of play. He's never afraid to challenge and stand up to guys twice his size. It's especially admirable when you throw in his elite scoring production, which only so many NHLers of his size can do. Little Ball of Hate. What a perfect nickname for hockey's greatest pest, all right. Tyron Matthew. Playing safety means needing to be ready to lower the boom on wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs when you have the ball in the open field. Generally speaking, safeties are smaller than the average NFL player, but New Orleans Saints Pro Bowler Tyron Matthew is a especially undersized for guys of his position. 5'9" and 190 pounds. But oh boy, he plays like a guy who might as well be listed at 6'3" and 210 plus pounds. The Honey Badger has garnered a reputation as one of the NFL's greatest delivery men of bone-crushing hits. And his coverage and tackling skills are especially admirable, considering that he's often lining up against guys with a tremendous size advantage over him. This three-time Pro Bowler, 2010's All-Decade Team Selection, and Super Bowl 54 champion with the Chiefs has a compelling Hall of Fame case. Jose Altuve. Look, love or hate Altuve and the Houston Astros all you want, but this is one of baseball's elite all-around players. Listed at 5'6" and 166 pounds, Altuve has silenced all doubters and emerged as a franchise changer in H-Town. When healthy, Altuve is a constant threat for 30 homers, 30 stolen bases, and a 300 batting average. You just don't find complete players of his caliber very often, especially ones at or around his size. Look at his stats post-2017, and Altuve is a top 10 player in baseball. Few players can totally impact a game the way that he has. And his always clutch performances in the postseason sort of speak for themselves. If the baseball committee is a little more forgiving down the road, Altuve will have a nice shiny plaque of himself hanging up in Cooperstown. Johnny Gaudreau. Johnny Hockey is one of the NHL's best modern feel-good stories. He was a fourth-round draft choice of the Calgary Flames in 2011 at number 104 overall. Despite a high level of skill, Gaudreau is overlooked by numerous teams and scouts because of his so-called undersized frame at 5'9". But the New Jersey product, who comes in at 165 pounds, has proved every doubter wrong with a phenomenal career that's lasted almost a decade now. Gaudreau helped breathe new life into a long-struggling Calgary Flames franchise, helping them to postseason appearances in 2015, 2017, 2019, 2020, and 2022. Gaudreau has 5 seasons of 70-plus points under his belt, including a career year in 2021/2022 in which he tallied 40 goals and 115 points. He's not going to hit that total again, but Gaudreau is bound to remain a game-changing force with the up-and-coming Columbus Blue Jackets for many more years to come. Austin Eckler. Most star running backs in today's NFL are at or under 6 feet in height. Not everyone can be a 6'3" tank like Derrick Henry, people. Not only is the Los Angeles Chargers star running back Austin Eckler a nice story because of his smaller 5'10", 200-pound frame, but also the fact that he went undrafted before joining the Bolts in 2017. Small and slippery like a snake, Eckler just always finds ways to weave through defenders both as a runner and a receiver. He surpassed 1,500 total yards of offense in 2019, 2021, and 2022, leading the league in all-purpose TDs during the latter 2 campaigns. He had 20 in 2021 and 18 the following year. Because he's both a running back and receiver, Eckler especially takes a ton of hits from guys twice his size. But he just keeps on trucking and seems to get better and better each year. That is one of the NFL's best little guys of the past half century if we've ever seen one. Kyle Lowry. Like CP3, this future Hall of Famer and perennial all-star point guard is listed at 6 feet in height. Unlike Paul, however, Lowry wasn't exactly highly touted when he entered the NBA as the number 24 overall pick in 2006. Lowry was actually a late bloomer, only growing into a star after the Toronto Raptors acquired him from the Houston Rockets in a 2012 trade. Together, Lowry and DeMar DeRozan put the Raptors on the map and led them to 5 consecutive postseason appearances from 2014 to 2018. Ahead of the 2018/2019 season, the Raptors traded DeRozan to the San Antonio Spurs in a blockbuster deal that brought Kawhi Leonard over to the Six. Leonard and Lowry formed a prolific duo and led the Raptors to their first championship in franchise history, defeating the dynastic Golden State Warriors in 6 games. From a late, undersized first-round pick to 6-time All-Star and NBA champion, yeah, it has been a wonderful journey for this relatively late bloomer. Jose Ramirez. The Cleveland Guardians All-Star third baseman has played an instrumental role in the franchise's return to relevance after a mostly forgettable decade-long stretch from 2005 to 2015. One of baseball's premier hitters of the past decade, Ramirez helped Cleveland to a 2016 World Series appearance, where they fell just 1 game short of baseball's ultimate prize. He additionally led them to playoff appearances in 2017, 2018, 2020, and 2022. Even with longtime sidekick Francisco Lindor gone, Ramirez's hot bat has kept the Guardian in annual playoff contention. The 5'9", 190-pound fan favorite is always a threat for 30 to 40 homers, 20 to 30 stolen bases, and 100-plus RBI. He's as consistent of a power and contact hitter as it gets. Where would the Guardians be without Ramirez? Jalen Waddle. Waddle and Tyreek Hill are the best receiving duo in the NFL right now. They are very similar players with 5'10" frames and unmatched set of wheels. It doesn't matter how much bigger the defenders are, you can't keep up with either of those guys one-on-one. let alone when they're both on the field. Waddle had 104 receptions in 2021, the most ever for a rookie. He followed up with 1,356 yards and 8 touchdowns in 2022 to help Miami to their first playoff appearance in 6 years. And yeah, I think that kind of speaks for itself. Waddle and Hill are complete game wreckers on the road. Pair them together, and you have offensive fireworks left, right, and center. This duo is going to be so much fun to watch with Tua Tagovailoa for a long time. But who do you think is the best little guy in sports right now? Was there anyone that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.